All right, what is up, you guys? Today I want to talk about something that I find so important, and it is a foundational pillar in my life and has been a foundational pillar in my life for years. And I actually had to sit down with myself and ask myself the question, like, what benefits am I actually getting from doing this and having this part of my routine every single day? Because it's been such a long time that you often forget how you felt and how your life was before you had this routine every single day. So, I want to talk about the importance of tracking your macros and just having clarity when it comes to nutrition, because 80% of your results physically are going to be coming from nutrition, and this is the most misunderstood thing when it comes to health and fitness. So, I had to sit down with myself and I came up with these lists of things that are all amazing benefits that you get from having your macros and calories in check. For those of you that don't know, like, all macros or calories, I don't know how to explain this. I'm going to find a graphic and I'm going to put it up here for you guys. That way you can understand what I mean when I'm talking about calories and macros. Because you have your calories as like an umbrella over your macros, and your macros are three categories. It's protein, fat, and carbs. And then you want to have clarity on all of these things. You want to know how many calories you're intaking, how many grams of protein, how many grams of fat, and how many grams of carbs that you should be intaking every single day. And then that gives you your goal on what to aim for every single day. Sorry, I just ate. And I was tracking my macros. So, something that I love during pregnancy, I already don't have a lot of energy, okay? And this doesn't apply to just pregnant people, but any stage of your life that you're going through where there's a struggle, there's more chaos, or sometimes people's lives are just busy and complicated and demanding, and that's totally understandable. But when you have this stability amongst that chaos, it gives you so much more power to actually be able to operate with. So I find that it drains my energy to be pregnant because obviously I'm creating a whole other human that is using every store of like nutrients that I have in my body. And just to be able to follow my macros, that alone in itself gives me more energy because my body feels confident that it has the structure and consistency of getting the same amount of food every day. So I'm eating the same amount of food every single day. And obviously this is changed since I was not pregnant because you actually have to increase your calories for the baby. Eating for two is a myth though. But anyways, my body is confident in the amount of foods that I'm going to eat every single day and the amount of nutrients that it's going to get every single day in terms of macros. So it knows throughout today, we're going to have X amount of calories that are coming in, and then we're going to have X amount of protein that we're able to build with. We have X amount of carbs that we're able to use as energy, and then we have fat that's going to go into storage. And if it needs to come out of storage and be used as energy, then we know that we have that coming in. So it gives your body more clarity and stability in how effective its systems work inside. And of course, everything is connected when you're talking about the body, and your mind is part of your body. So I noticed when I first fell pregnant, I found it was very hard to manage my schedule because I had a very demanding schedule and I had a highly competitive job. I loved going to the gym and would train at a very high and intense level. And every level of my life, like every aspect of my life, was just very hard and very intense and very like, oh my God. So when I got pregnant and I didn't have all of this energy before, because I was in my first trimester and I was like, what's happening in my body? I feel like an 80-year-old woman. Like, I am napping 5 times a day. I kind of let my macros slide because it was just like this other thing that I just didn't have energy for. Like, in my first trimester, this is basically what was happening. I would wake up at 9, I would go to work, I would feel sleepy at 1, I would take a nap while I was at work, and then I would continue to work, and then I would nap again at 3, and then I would continue to work, and then I would nap again around 5, and then I would like drag myself through the day, and then 7, 8, 9 o'clock, like I was in bed at my hotel passed out for until like 9 o'clock. So I would sleep 12 hours. It was crazy. So I mean, I remember there was days where I'm like, you know what, no makeup today because I don't have the energy to do this. Or like my hair's going up in a messy bun because I don't have the energy to do this. And my macros in the gym was also something that I was like, I literally have no energy because I'm just trying to compete at this highly competitive, difficult job that I have. So that's kind of where all of my focus went. But when I stopped working, then I was like, wow, you know what? I do have time for this. I do have time to take care of my health, to be able to go to the gym, to be able to track my macros. And then I realized that this is something that's well known in the fitness industry, but we're all still human. And so we kind of forget the things that we need to know. And one of them is when you feel like shit and you don't have a lot of energy, but you go to the gym, it gives you more energy afterwards. Same thing with tracking your macros. It gives you more energy, it gives you more mental clarity, because you're gonna start noticing when you're tracking your macros consistently, you have certain foods that just set you off, and you're gonna become more and more sensitive as you progress if you're actually evolving with your nutrition plan. For instance, I used to go out once a week and just have like 2 hours where I would eat a ton of like bad food. I would have like Wendy's, whatever, Oreos, cake. And then eventually I got to a point where I was really tired of that because I didn't feel good after, and it really wasn't contributing to my goals. It was just a back step. And then when I became cognizant of that, I stopped doing that and I stopped engaging in that behavior because really at the end of the day, it didn't make me feel good. And now I'm craving ice cream, but I'm always going to reach for a frozen yogurt. I'm not going to reach for an ice cream because it's not going to make me feel good. Same thing with actually coffee is one of them that I'm kind of like shying away from more and more. I normally would have a coffee like once a day, but I was never super consistent. Anyways, you're going to start to be set off by smaller and smaller things, and then you're going to progress. So in the academy, I have a section called the 90-10 rule, and I want you to go and look at that because this explains exactly what I mean and how you can evolve through your nutrition plan to actually become better and better at what you're doing. So not only does it slow down your judgment, it gives you brain fog when you eat bad foods, and then doing the opposite, of course, alleviates that and gives you more mental clarity, more less brain fog, and more energy. Another thing that I find is very important is you need to be stacking wins all the time. So you want to be having daily goals, and this is one of them that you can add to the list. Every single time I look at what I did for the day and how I was successful, there's always my macros that are there that I'm like, you know what, I have another day in the books for having a successful eating day. And those mental wins add up over time, and I go into it in the academy and I explain exactly what the benefits are of those are and having them. Another one is less emotions when you're eating and knowing why you're choosing certain foods. A lot of times you're going to go up to the fridge and you're like, what do I feel like eating? Like, what is my craving? Or, it's emotion based. It's not really logic based decision making. But when you actually figure out what your habits are, then you can start to add logic into those and really give yourself the things that your body needs based on what your macros are and what your calories are left for that day or what your initial goals are. Blood sugars and heart health, that's another good one. So you're going to become very consistent, and like I said earlier, your body is a system. It needs to have consistency so that all of these different things can work together. And the more that you go like fasted and then you eat a bunch and then you're like fasted again, and it's like your body doesn't know exactly when it's going to be getting food. It's sporadic and it's not like there's no stability in there. The more that you're going to have your blood sugars spike up and down. And then the harder that your heart is going to have to work, the harder that your whole system is going to have to work to be able to actually like digest these foods. And it creates a lot of stress in your body. So that stress in your body over time, it creates areas and like opportunities for you to become more sick, for you to have more health problems. Because if you think about you have one machine over here that's working very, very hard to get the job done, and it's doing the same job as this machine over here that's giving maybe 5% of its energy to get the job done. So let's just say this machine is giving its 80 or 90% and it's showing up at 80 or 90% every single day. But at the end of the day, they're accomplishing the same job. It's just this one is way more efficient than this one over here. So let's say machine A at 80% capacity every single day has an infection or a major stress that is taking 50%. Well, now you're running that machine at 130%. This is when it's going to start to break down. Let's say that your 5% here machine that's very efficient at doing what it needs to has a stressor that comes out of nowhere in life, like we know that they happen. And then this takes 50% of its energy and attention. So now this stressor is taking 55% of this machine's energy, and you're not getting broken down and you're not getting stuck. You're able to continue on. And for me, even though, yes, there was a point in time where I stopped tracking my macros, I never felt like I was getting stuck. I always knew that I had a way out of that. But since I was like so competitive at my job, I'm like, there's only 2 girls in like the whole part of Canada that I live in. There's only 2 of us, and there's like 38 guys in New Brunswick where I live right now and where I had that job. There's only 2 girls there, so it's highly competitive. It's male dominated. That was taking up a lot of my energy already. And then I had like all of these programs and systems unlocked, but it just made me able to really push myself more into things. And so there was a point in time where things did start to break in my life and I wasn't maintaining or sustaining the same results and the same like systems and routines. But at the end of the day, it gives you like a faster pivot point. Like, how fast can you pivot and actually fix this problem without it spiraling into something massive? I look at just average everyday women, and I don't understand how they go through this without, like, it must be a train wreck mentally, because if you don't have the tools that you need to be able to understand your macros, to know that you can get your body back, it must be incredibly stressful for these people. Anyways, so that is the importance of macros. That is why I have it in and have had it in my life for such a long time. And if you have any more questions, reach out to me directly. You can reach out to me on here, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. I will put my Instagram handle down in the comments below. That way you guys can access that. And if you're in the academy, of course, we're going to be having our weekly calls, so I look forward to seeing you there.